What's good, everybody? We back with my guy Five Star, talk a little bit of football with y'all. And man, before I kick it to you, I start I started laughing before the show. I didn't want to say nothing to you because I just wanted to
Man.
start the show and do it. But I will pass to you on this note. The first thing I see when I start the show is Casey come in here
Hey,
to say, first off, don't even gotta start Five Star.
I gotta give her the numbers that I just gave spread on my show, man. I don't think that she understands that Brock Purdy is one of the worst clutch quarterbacks we've seen in the league. If he's down leading into the second half, man, this guy is 5 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and 61% 61 QBR. Like, you don't want what Purdy has to win the game for you. You know I don't mess with Purdy. Last night we was over there at the West Side, just got our little hearts broke messing with that guy. And all I could think about was KC. I was like, KC,
She about to get this smoke.
yeah, KC, you cost me a bag. Me and the whole group believing in your boy. You told us Brock Purdy could play.
I do got to give Debo some smoke too, though. Steve is saying,
Oh,
I
yes.
mean that drop was game changing.
Super
That was a
game changer.
touchdown.
Bro, Stafford was working. Stafford was trying so hard to give us that game. He tried to throw like 6 interceptions in the first half. And every time the Niners dropped it, it'll hit him right in the hands. And what I like, though, is McVay continues to show why he's probably the best coach in the NFC. Him and Matt LaFleur, but I put him over Matt LaFleur simply because he has a Super Bowl win. McVay saw what was going on. Like, let me take this ball out of his hand. He not about to trick me off. He started running the ball, and that strategy ended up winning that game. And he beats Shanahan and sons him again.
I gotta ask you about. It was a linebacker, right, who refused to go in the game.
Yeah.
I think it's the one who was starting for Greenlaw, and then he got
Yeah.
he got benched because Greenlaw came back. Was you just crying about that? And what's your thoughts on him not wanting to go back in the game?
It's Shanahan. Shanahan and Lynch aren't too liked. I don't know if people could tell, but you could see that they got a team that's, you know, it's an Oakland team, a San Francisco team. They Bay Area, every team is going to take on the city. So that's a hip hop, kind of round the way team. And then you got these two hard asses at the top because Lil Shanny runs things just like I don't think he's seen from his dad, from Mike Shanahan. And that's that old school way of, approaching football and dealing with your players. And then you got John Lynch. You see where he comes from, same era. And we see that with him by signing IU. You're going to force this guy to come play for you just because, you want to, trying to prove a point. Like, you're going to give him all this money, and then you see what happens. It kind of set up for a bad season. I took the under on the wins for the Niners. That's already a cash. I can go and put that, whenever I think they wait till the last day of the season. They so roachy at the book to let you get the money, but it's really already over now. And I took Seattle to win the division because I knew that this was going to be a bad year for the 49ers just because of how it began with Christian McCaffrey hurt and with, all the stuff for IU. But this is just a further example with this guy that I want to come in to play. It's some real locker room issues going on with the 49ers. And last night, I think we kind of see that Shanahan has semi-lost the locker room. He'll probably survive. We'll see if Brock Purdy does.
We shall see. Real quick, but last thing before we get started, Rich Homie says 5 star, my boy. Appreciate you whether you cash or don't. Taking the time out of your day weekly means a lot. How can we show you love for the weekly picks? PayPal, Venmo, talk to us.
Oh, that's love. That's love, Rich Home. I appreciate you guys. Is it all right to give it out on here, Skee? Because I don't know
Do
if you
it, do
have
it,
any
do your
partners.
thing.
Okay,
No, do
okay,
your
yeah.
thing.
So, hey, if you guys are interested in tips, it's always appreciated. If you don't send a penny, it's appreciated because I do this not for any money or anything. I come on there with you guys because Skee's my boy, and I want everybody to win, man. It's us versus the machine. But if you want the Venmo, it is the 5 star in Vegas. You'll see it as THE and then 5 star in Vegas. Spell it out on Venmo, the 5 star in Vegas. On PayPal, it's just 5 star in Vegas without the. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, Rich homie. And hit me on the DM. I have some plays for you, man. If you can get on X, hit me on DM. I'll definitely shoot you some plays.
All right, let's get to it. We got college up first. We'll talk a little bit of the Navy and Army. This one did do
Yeah,
some moving. Now it's moving back the other way. It moved from -4 Army up as high as 7. And right now I'm seeing the odds board light up. It might have just moved back from 6.5 to 6 across the board. So people thinking it might have got a little too high there on Navy. What are your thoughts on this game?
it definitely did. But you remember, I sent you that pick early in the week. Like, didn't I send you that when I sent you that other one we just spoke about? Because I caught the 7 on this game. I think it's down to 5.5 somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if it's down to like 4 tomorrow, just because we're dealing with two teams that this is like a battle of the Titans. You know, even if they're like 0-12, both teams, they're going to play their ass off when it comes to facing each other. It's their Super Bowl. Army and Navy are service schools, and we appreciate everything that they do to keep us all protected. And all of the people who in the chat who served, we appreciate you. Army and Navy, man, this is what they do it for, to play each other at the end of the year. It's the big standalone game. They clear the whole weekend for them, and I think that we get a great show because these are two of the best teams to come from the academy schools that we've seen, man. Both of these teams can really play. They're really good, sound teams, really well coached. The thing that I'm looking about this game is that Navy replaced his quarterback. Horvath had a horrible showing that time when we took them against Notre Dame. You remember he shit the bed in the first half, and the coach was smart enough to move off of him and went with a kid and put in Braxton Woodson. Braxton Woodson is a completely different player than Horvath was. More explosive, bigger kid at 6'3", 215. Also has some speed, man. I think that he's going to be the difference maker in this game for Navy because it's not the typical offense that Navy runs. It's going to be some option, of course, but with Braxton Woodson, they're able to kind of spread and run some multi-faceted offenses. Army, we know we're going to get. You're going to get a whole bunch of option football. You're going to get some good sound defense. You know, they're going to be good in the trenches, and then they're going to let their star quarterback run the ball on that option, man. He's one of the best athletes in the country. They are efficient in the pass game, too, surprisingly for Army. I think it's just because you can't really focus on the pass because they run the ball so well, leading the nation in yards per rush. So you can't just concentrate strictly on that, man. So that opens up the passing game for them as well, where they're completing at 17 yards per completion, which is second in the country. And also they're getting 174.8 quarterback rating for their quarterback with the second. But as I said, they're number one in rush yards. Number two in rush yards is Navy. So these teams are just mirrors of each other. Always been a long tradition. And when you're in a rivalry like this one, you got to take the points. It doesn't make sense to lay the points. We haven't seen one of these games go over that number as far as in 6.5 in a long time, man. These have been some close games. The last time that it was a dominant performance was 2020. Besides that, the last three have been really, really tight, and I think that it continues that way. So give me Navy. If you guys can buy half a point, get +7 before this number falls, grab it.
Good stuff on that game. And I mean, even before I was really, really watching college football, I already know when I see these two teams line up, it's usually not the most points. So
And you know what?
points,
Everyone's saying that this year, but I'm gonna be honest. Even though they know each other really well, their offenses are both a lot more explosive this year than in the past. So be careful on that total. I wouldn't be surprised if it still goes that way because we're going to get a supreme effort by the defenses in this game for both teams. We know that, and you practice against that offense your whole career, so they're very familiar with each other. But I would not be surprised if it creeps over for a change this game.
Mark seems like he's in agreement with that. Says lots of people on the under. I think it goes over. So we'll see. I'll be watching that one.
First half,
Talk-
probably under would be the best bet, Skee, if you're going to go under.
First half, I think is 19.5. So
Yeah, I could see that one hitting before the full game.
are we gonna slide it over to NFL? I
Okay,
got
let's do it.
a few games we're gonna talk about. This first one is really, really good. Detroit and Buffalo. This one hasn't moved. It opened 2.5, stayed right there. The total though did go up 3 points, and I can understand why when you have the Lions offense and got Josh Allen, the Bills on the other side. Um, before I start this, did the Bills lose last week? They lost last week, right?
Yeah, lost to the Rams.
So the Bills are off of a loss. Could be motivated to win here, but damn, the Lions are good. And I don't know. I feel like the Lions are the more complete team. Yes, the Bills had a better quarterback, but it's hard for me to go against the Lions at home. All I do is win and cover. How do you see it?
Yeah, their coach Dan Campbell, aka the Big Lebowski, he's no game James when it comes to these type of situations. They're going to defend home. Jared Goff just was speaking to reporters this morning. I saw on the NFL Network, and he was saying they got to keep winning because the Vikings are right on the tail. People forget the Vikings have only lost 2 games this year. Right behind them, the Packers. The Packers are right on their tail as well. So it's not your typical situation where they only have 1 loss and it seems like with that 12-1 that everything's locked in. It's not. So they're going to keep playing. You hit it right on the nail by saying that Detroit is a more complete team. I compare this Buffalo team to those Carolina teams. I think that, and it's crazy because the defensive coordinator of those Carolina teams is the head coach. Now for the Bills, I think that it's a one-man, show. You got Superman over there and Josh Allen, just like Cam Newton was, with a bunch of no-name people around him. Besides Amari Cooper, who do you really know on Buffalo's team on the offense or the defensive side? The defensive tackle from Houston is pretty good. Kid that I watched growing up playing over at what did he play at North Shore. But besides that, they're not there's a bunch of no names over there. Whereas in Detroit, I think it's clicking on all cylinders. My angle on this game would be first half on the Lions. The Lions are 11-2 against the spread in the first half this year. Lead the league in 19 points per game in the first half. And the Bills defense have had some spotty efforts on the road. They're giving up 15 points per game on the road in the first half. So give me the Lions first half money line.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the game. I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to be, but I would feel the most comfortable. Even if I have a lead at halftime, Josh Allen can absolutely come back. So I can see why you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
get
That's
out.
why we're not playing that full game at all. Yeah.
All right.
Nope.
I do want to ask though, Lions,
Mm-hmm.
they play a lot of man, right? I think they play.
Um,
This is what I'm asking. I think they play a lot of man, and I think that's. I think that the way they play defense is going to leave a lot of room for Josh Allen to get out and run. I'm trying to think either his rushing attempts or rushing yards. That's my thought process.
yeah, I could see that. But the thing about the Detroit defense is that Aaron Glenn is a pretty sharp guy. Like he knows how to take away the things that you like the most. They're 5th in the league against the run. What they struggle with is pass yards. Like they're susceptible, excuse me, to getting big plays on their defensive backs and stuff like that. So that's what you watch. And with their injuries, they can't rush the passer late. That's why I'm not messing with this whole game
Okay.
because we've seen the last few games, teams have been killing the Lions defense in the second half. So I would not be surprised at all if Josh Allen comes back and makes this a game within the number. We're going to just stick to the first half.
All right. Next, we got Steelers and Eagles. This one opened up Eagles -5. It keeps bouncing up and down. I saw 5.5 this morning. Now I'm seeing mostly fives. Total went down about 2.5 points to 43. Steelers, man, they're legit. I cashed my big ticket on the win total over easily, and I trust that defense. I think that Russell Wilson has made them a lot more. How do I say? Like you can do a lot more. They're more versatile on offense with Russell Wilson there. I like the Steelers. The Eagles, I mean, that shit coming out about Hurt and and Brown not even really liking each other no more. All that stuff that's going on. I could lean towards the Steelers. What do you think?
You're on the right side. And the reason they probably don't like each other anymore is because Jalen Hurts was raised by his pops, who was a coach outside the Houston area and is a stand-up dude. He doesn't believe in, discussing your business with the media. And I think that A.J. Brown needs to chill because they need both of them to win. But at the end of the day, I think that Lurie in that franchise chooses the quarterback over the diva receiver. It's much harder to replace a Super Bowl quarterback than replacing a wide receiver. And we know that A.J. Brown is the key to their victory. Well, him and the Hurts combination, he's their key to victories. You can see the win-loss total when he's playing. He's one of the most, guys that that's needed at wide receiver in the whole league when it comes to determining the endings of these games. He's a real big factor in the success for the Eagles. But still, at the end of the day, we are replaceable. Like no one's irreplaceable, and he needs to understand that that's the leader of the team and respect it, man. Sometimes he's going to get you the ball, sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's going to be out. He's not a pure pocket passer, but what he is he's a good dude and a great leader. So I hate to see that going on over there because they really have an opportunity to do something special this year with the type of talent on their team on both sides of the ball. With that said, I'll be on the Steelers with you. They're going to miss George Pickett for sure. Like George Pickett is maybe the best X receiver in the league right now. He's not going over the middle, but on those sidelines, he's going to make some great plays. One of the few guys that, catches anything thrown his way, makes some of the most difficult catches, great toe tap guy, all of that. Typical, Steelers receiver. He's pretty much Antonio Brown, the new version, but the difference is Brown used to kind of go across the middle. He was more of a wide receiver. But Van Jefferson has been playing better, and I think that he's going to be able to do some of the things that Pickett did, not all of them, but some of the things, but they're going to need him to step up. He had an opportunity to be the number 2 guy with the Rams and kind of succeed Cooper Kupp, and he allowed Puka Nacua to jump him because he got injured. And then he had just an off year with the Falcons. But Van Jefferson's dad actually is a wide receiver coach himself. So he really knows how to play the position. And I think that he's going to be his best with the Steelers. And also they have Mike Williams over there, who's a deep threat as well. Steelers overall are 7-0 straight up and against the spread in the last 7 regular season games as underdogs. So not only did they cover, they won straight up. 3 of the times they did that this year as well, where they were the underdog and they won straight up. They're 14-4 straight up and against the spread in their last 18 games as dogs. Tomlin is probably the best underdog coach in the history of the NFL. So we got to just live with the results. It's an automatic bet for me and my guys on the wagering world anytime we see Tomlin with points. So give me Mike Tomlin plus 5.5.
I like it. Let's move over to the last game that we're going to talk about here, and that is Dolphins at Texans. Opened up -2.5 for the Texans. There's a couple 2.5s out. There's a few 2.5 still out there now. There wasn't all of them earlier, but I guess it's going back and forth now between 2.5 and 3. Total hasn't really moved too much. Um, the Dolphins, I don't even know. Like, can they still make the playoffs? I'm like, I don't know about the Dolphins. The Texans, I think they need this win more. They are at home. I don't know. I need your help with this one. What do you think about Dolphins and Texans?
Texas, man. CJ Stroud gets a week to get back right. Just think about all the football he's played as a young kid the last 2 years. You come out playing 2 years at Ohio State where you played, 13 games max, played probably 12, 11 games regular season, the conference championship game, and then the Rose Bowl. And then you're at home. Now he's played 18 games. Then in the offseason, he did a world tour because he was trying to get his brand up, which is nothing wrong with that because life's bigger than football. You're going to have to still make money off of your brand. So I don't knock him for what he did, for taking advantage of the opportunities he had to go all of these places and meet all these people, but it has affected his play. It's clear. I think that this is a reset week for him. I think we see the old CJ this week because you don't lose the type of accuracy and talent that he has, and he has to be watching Bryce Young shine and say, man, let me get back on game. Bryce about to come walk me down again because they're real good friends and they've been competing against each other all the way back from California high school. So I know they keep up with each other's career. And right now, Bryce is having lately a better, year than CJ has. CJ, though, is winning the division. He has the better team, and that's what matters is team football. The Dolphins have won 4 of the last 5, 32 points, 3 of the last 4 games, but they were 1 of 9 on third down last week. Third downs are very important to me when it comes to handicapping these games. The Texans are really good at getting off the field. They're 6th ranked in third down defense. Also, the Texas defensive backs are 1st in the league at defensive pass completion percentage allowed. So they really lock down receivers and make it difficult on quarterbacks. Texans love to hit the quarterback. They're 7th in quarterback hits, and they're 2nd in the league with 42 sacks. Daniel Hunter is going to get at Tua and give him some issues. You know that Tua he can't play really well in a muddy pocket just because his size, and he can't run really well. And with all the concussion issues, if he does scrum, he's looking to get down. He's not looking to make plays like before the injuries. Dolphins also allowed 100 yards receiving to Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson last week, and they're not a world beat on offense with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is old as hell. I think this is a get right spot for that Texans offense. Hopefully, Slowick saw what Bryce Young and Canales are doing in South Carolina and Carolina, and went back to just spread, man. Just let CJ sit in the pocket, spread it out, let him see the defense. He's a 7-on-7 guy. Let him throw darts and let him hand the ball off the mix when the box is light. They keep it simple like that. I think that they dominate this game. I'm on the Texans -2.5 and money line.
I like it. I definitely think that's the right side. And yeah, we're gonna wrap it up like that. So gave y'all 3 NFL, 1 college football, and now we move it over to best bets. 5-star. Um, I always like to ask you, or always want to ask you, is there anything that you would like to promote? And if you want to give out a best bet or just recap your plays, however you would like to do it.
Yeah, I just recapped the plays because all of those plays were official plays for me. It's Lions, first half money line. We're also going to go with the Steelers +5, the Texans -2.5 and money line, and the Navy um, college football team +7. As far as promotions, I have a promotion going right now on the bowls. I got a bowl package, man. It's going to start off tomorrow. We got the Celebration Bowl tomorrow. You got the Salute to Veterans Bowl tomorrow. Then Tuesday is the Frisco Bowl. Wednesday, the Boca Raton Bowl and LA Bowl. Thursday, the New Orleans Bowl. The Fridays, the Cure Bowl and the Gasparilla Bowl, as well as the kickoff to the college football playoffs. That's Indiana and Notre Dame. And I'm also going to throw one FCS play in that you already have, Skee, that we have locked in. So we're going to have 10 plays that I'm doing as a bowl/playoff package. If you're interested in it, just give me a holler right there on X at 5-star in Vegas. Spell out the 5. Give me a DM. If I don't get right back at you, I will. If you can't get in the DM, just add me on the page. As soon as I see it, I'll DM you.
Good stuff. And he gave you a lot of plays there, and he tells you how to get the rest of them winners. And it's been a great college football season riding with 5-star. So, and I'm riding with you on a lot of that. Everything you sent me, I'm riding with you. So
Let's
appreciate you.
go.
For
For
my
sure.
best bet, I'm gonna rock with. I mean, we'll stick with that then. How about that? We talked about one college game today. I played it +7 with Army. I will. I mean, I know you can get 6.5 right now is the best number, but that's still gonna be
Mm-hmm.
my best bet for the show. So,
With
once
Navy.
again, appreciate with Navy
Yeah,
plus
yeah,
six
you
and a
said
half.
Army. You just said it by
Oh, my
accident.
fault, my fault, my fault, my fault.
I didn't want it to be
Navy plus six
confused.
and a
Yeah,
half. Yeah,
yeah, man.
appreciate that.
Quick question before we get off. You, we going to the cup tomorrow? Me and Ian pulling up. You going?
What time is it?
I'm not going to
I'm
the
down
early
to
game.
go.
The Hawks
Okay,
and the
okay. The
Bucks
later
like
game,
one.
I could be down.
Yeah, the Rockets and OKC play like 5:30 out here, but that other guy like 1:30. Horrible schedule. I don't know why they did that, but I'm definitely going to try to go. I'll let you know if I can get an extra ticket or whatever.
Yeah, I'll hit you. I gotta do another show real quick, but I gotta do 2 more shows. But I
Did you
I
break
hit you
down the
in.
game yet on those 2 games on the cup?
Nah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
Okay.
do that after.
All right, we've talked about it a little bit on the show. I'll text you about it.
All right, for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all in the chat. I am gonna be live, and right after this with Wham Bam Babano and Dutch, we'll talk some more NBA. See if we can get paid today, and I'll catch y'all over there. Peace.